Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I hope you had a good time if you celebrate Christmas. And if you don't, well, I hope you had a good time as well. Alright, so we're still in the middle of the trial of Gina. And we did make some progress in trying to find out what actually happened. Oh, but we had some setbacks as well, and we're doing a summation examination again. Bummer. All right. Guidance Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Oh, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. Oh, I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted the theft the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. What? I am ballistic expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Okay, guy. Okay, man. If you say so. It would seem there is remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me. Is this black? I'd say it's dark brown, but well, I don't know. Well, it's not fair. Iris? That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Jeannie's done some things she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Face slapping done. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. Okay. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. Hold it! Just because Mrs. Strad has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces? The greatest military organizations in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong. and dangerous. Well, yeah, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal soul through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, you're referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier. Or am I mistaken? Oh, not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. Never actually seen the real thing. Can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Well, we already had a look at it. Iris, come on. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what tune it plays though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Harley's copy. McGildy's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. We already did that, come on man. So only 2 bullets were found at the scene. I would say the whole case is done and dusted. Hold it! Is the number of bullets that has you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. Or 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose... If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. Ooh, a 3rd bullet somewhere in the scene. Could that possible? Could that be possible? No, I cannot prove it. Fortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. I don't imagine the good man of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed the bullets while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. Sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. Oh, it would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? 3rd bullet, eh? Oh, you don't need a stereoscope to see the truth there. Every which way we look at it, it was a pickpocket. Hold it! So, if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions like this. So if we have 2 bullets, don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulking brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, Surly is coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Oh, I never imagined that a simple operation would cause me such grief.
Hold it!
Wait, what operation? Will you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Oh, well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. Wait, what? It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? What? I mustn't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Herlich? No, Herlock? No, Herlock? Herlock Holmes, by any chance? Oh yes, good lord. It was that Herlock fellow. How do you know? What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using the latest anesthesia techniques. Might odd. It was a very major op, I can tell you. Oh, this is crazy. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. Okay. But the funny thing is, I went over his inside with a fine-tooth comb. I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to say the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel for the defense is correct. As is clearly shown in this photographic print, the bullet that the Skulking brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ha! Ah, who do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound on the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Ah, are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury, no sign that the bullet had left the body at all. Wait, what? Wait, what? What? That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was used somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about sizing him up. And I'm still on the way side, but now, how many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? Oh, it's almost as much of a mystery as how this injury was put together. The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? I would say, okay, I'm gonna save because, you know, must come for that. And we're gonna pit those.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Sorry, old bean, can't accept that as squadron leader. What? All fighting for a common cause. Don't you know, my chaps? No way they contradict one another. I concur, Mr. Foreman. What? We'll refrain from person. Wait, what? That's not. What? What is this? Okay. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
Hold it!
What? What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say stop. Do excuse me, stop. I'm a communication officer, stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news at the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and type it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea stop. The sea stops. Worldwide communications network stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of globe stop. Oh yeah. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves other lives before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports to get guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Oh, let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I am ballistic expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Hold it!
I thought you were just a tourist. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Oh, there's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're ballistic experts. Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah? I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of, extreme violent bloodbath, perhaps? Duh! Those! Extreme violent bloodbath. English is a very difficult tongue. Oh, considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. Oh, there is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve. Oh, he's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in the Russian language. Oh, he's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No, still we should bear it in mind. Is our man is there a mystery about guns or bullets? Okay, I see. Van Dix has managed to convince everyone. And when you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't. If we're going to fight back, we need more material. When we have to fight back, we have to turn this trial around again. Okay, now I know what to do. We save, because we are like that. And we can pit our surgeon against our specialist.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. A ballistics expert. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. At this apparent contradiction in the fact that is so clearly troubling juror number 4, are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen a very similar situation in Motherland. Really? It was a night. There was a blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. Very narrow. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and there were dog sleds. Oh, but no, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I heard today from a doctor. They could not find the bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made a deep wound that looks just like a bullet wound. Oh, good gracious. Of course, a piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullets. What? But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in the pawnbroker's shop. No, not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. I don't know. Where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps these glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Oh, well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lone Van Zeeks? Well, I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during the summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a submission examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. We're making progress here. I see. So this is a pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes at the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the fire exploded. Exploded? So that night, the bullet from the Skulking Brothers gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. It was the glass fire exploding that caused the fellow's injury. Oh, this bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. A delightful, complex aroma. Oh, well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Oh, glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the contender Mr. Solves, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence. How this pouch is scruffy? Sean's pouch has been entered into the court record. Is there gonna be blood on it? Now the submission examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinions, huh? Please, my lord. A little more time. We need to examine that. Come on now. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look. Must be where the bullet hit them. Then. Let me see. What? What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken fire was, do you see it? Oh, that's the Skulking Brothers bullet. What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. That it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windybanks that night. They found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. Oh, it's time to break the juror again, I think. The 3rd bullet has been entered into the court record. The projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch. It caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. Oh, what? Crazy stuff. These glass files are full of Hurley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things. And scent amplifying solutions to intensify a smell lingering on an object. Oh, that's amazing. They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Oh, Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. Oh look, there's a hole there, here at the back. It doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the leather with great force. Or something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind. Oh yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Wow, we found a bullet. We found a bullet. Oh, that's great. Need more time, please. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. Could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Rinsuke. There's still a way to turn this around somehow. I'm sure of it. Okay, I need to talk to the other one. Please, I need to prove. Is the number of bullets that has you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asked me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Okay, we also... Yes, sometimes dining. Okay, we saw that, I suppose. There was another bullet somewhere of which we were nowhere. I'd have to reconsider our position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? I can prove it! Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question, in Windybank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say? The shot fired by the Kilkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Huh. 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Windybank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Huh? What? But that might mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ah. 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 Order! 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 While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundation upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Wow. What a turn of events. Witnesses. Governor? Were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? Oh, we was, Governor. We was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. The 3rd bullet has been identified as the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Oh, make of it, Gov? Oh, is it one of yours? Oh, I couldn't read. I don't know why sometimes the game skips a phrase. Go blimey, Gov. Go blimey. Not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? Oh, what? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone. Oh, it's just the two of us. That's our trademark. What about the third brother? How soon we forget poor Sulky? Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms. We have evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Oh, lummy. That's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard, all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. Really? Our Lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. I'm gonna save. Okay. Because what do we know? We know that this bullet was shot. And we know that the blood on this bullet is the same as on the disc. So is the man... Is that guy? That dude, Eke Benedict. It's got nothing to do with them. I believe it has nothing to do with them. Eh? Oi, not here. That's right. Oh yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a 3rd firearm. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the 3rd gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the 3rd man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice. An accomplice was carrying a gun. An accomplice, you say? Pig's will. What does that mean? These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet, in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a 3rd man. This apparently wraith-like being exists. Ooh. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel. I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is ready to present answers. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swinging eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? Okay, let's save, just to be safe. Okay, we have this, the blood sample portfolio. That's it.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. Oh, by Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proved the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? Is this one or this one? Do you present this one or this one? This?
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. And that's a blood stain, my lord. A blood stain. Green blood. Curious. Even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Oh, by the great detective! New invention, stop. Not yet appeared in stories, stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fungus sprays a chemical that reacts with different elements in people's bloods. Change its color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Oh, talk of blood in court, stop. Very exciting, stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windyback. Oh, striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. No, hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed. Oh my golly. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Oh, then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Egbert Benedict, man.
Take that!
The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Edgar Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Consul? He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Edgar Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker? Oh yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Oh yes, sir. The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh no, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you weasel, and needless to say, any music box discs do. Or what? Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector? Oh, yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print showing the fellow. Oh. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder cabins. Ooh. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice. Well, Mr. Skulkin? Oh, I've never seen the Jesus before in my life. In my life. On me life, Cove. On me life. Never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls this my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Well, then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. He is. Oh, that's it. This is the last piece of evidence. The moment of truth. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord. Defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in his photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet.
Take that!
That proof is right here, in the portfolio. Good gracious, counsel. Does that portfolio contain the answer to every question posed? Is this a magic portfolio? I see you share my interest in colored liquids, my Nipponese friend. But... enough! The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proved the man you identified was the one shot by the third bullet at the scene of the crime? Easy, man, this one.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks. Which is when the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Oh, but of course, here's this for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell, say goodbye to style. Oh, wait a minute. That desk is mine. Mine. What do you think you're doing, little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. These protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Oh goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here, in this very courtroom, using my trusty fog gun. Yes, and we added the result to this portfolio. I say! Oh, it's green. Oh, it's exactly the same color as a blood round calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. Oh, so there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. Oi! What are you talking about? My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I heard the name. Maybe. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. Huh? And now we employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... What? And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is it right? Is Mr. Sholmes concocting a load of... I don't know, I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away. Oh, I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. Ah, in other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Oh, good grief, what did you just say, young girl? I did a summation examination. The decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least. Not for now. Oh yes, she's right. Oh, young lady, you have quite a devious mind. Oh, it really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced about what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sean's partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd précis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leaning in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decision in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Oh,
Not guilty.
yes.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, no, what?
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Yes. Ooh. 2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Ah. Ah. Shot in the heart by words. Nevertheless, we found ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name the gentleman gave for himself, Eckert Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something? Wait, who was that, please? Who spoke? Oh, it was me, my lord. Chair number 5. What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown. All right, yes, this one you mean? Oh, Mr. Benedict? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5. You don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No? Oh, good gracious! What a twist! Order! 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 Juror number 5. How on earth? I am a communication officer. Stop. As we can see, the gentleman in the photograph is stop. Also, a communication officer, stop. He works in my office. Stop. Oh, he has stars. She has stars in her eyes. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. Well, probably not. Mr. Gentleman is at London's communication station. We should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Six, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the Pont Brooklyn on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Wow. Wow. Twists. So many twists. 17th of April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? Starting to feel quite warmly towards her cold shoulders now. Jeannie, are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the like of me? What? Well, you saw it. That picture. What picture? What picture? Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Harry's red-handed recorder. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like that. That's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that gonna think I did it, aren't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Oh, surely you're gonna have your doubts about me now. You can still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Why can't she tell us what's happened? God damn it. Jeannie, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Yeah, tell us! God damn it. Hey! Ron was cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you. Alright then. It was after we had that dinner. We had that dinner together at your place, Iris. Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to 2-1 to Windybank's place. I had to know if Iris Story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles. I do not. I do know what it's about or nothing. I do know what it's about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in that Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why he lied. He lied to Iris about sticking it in with Windybank for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windybank's? I don't know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all that was gonna kick off here, did it? I had no idea all of that was gonna kick off, did I? I struck the rock and stuck inside. It was dark as you like. It was dark as you like. Like in there. So I gave the oil lamp and the counterbillow wick, and that's when. What do you think you're doing? Ah! I nearly died, I did. Next thing I knew. I'd grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like I don't know what. Ah. Oh, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets were in for armed robbery. The manuscript. Have you got it here? Oh, did Sholmes leave a load of paper with you? A story? I beg your pardon? The end of the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see if it's there, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if Sean's repawned it here or not. Please, just let me see. Just let me see it and I'll go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? So, then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. It was there all right. The manuscript. Sholmes went lying it after all. You did all that just to check for me, Jeannie? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop. The Skelkin brothers are arriving on the scene. Oh, the Skelkin brothers are arriving on the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in. Oh dear me, there's some burgers convention here tonight that I don't know about. Oh, I think I forgot to shut the door behind me, sorry. Oh, I'd better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back, please? Oh, well, I'll come with you and... Oh, now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. Oh, he's a nice lad, this guy. It's too bad he's dead. And with that, he took the gun out of me ends, and walked back into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom, like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. Sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. Started to think I should help see. So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself when... Bang, bang! No! I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. almost at the same time. And then, there he was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. It was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as I like. Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windybanks might come for you? Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Oh, Windybank was a goner. Oh, he was so nice, this man. Oh, I felt funny in my head all of a sudden. Kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. Oh, that must be when you passed out, Gina. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove must still be alive. Oh, did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I keep telling lies, that makes things even worse for me. Oh, it'll be alright, Jeannie, don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno is about to put the real culprit to the mill. That cove which was there in the afternoon. That Eggert Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. How come we didn't get that before, I mean? You what? Well, you can leave it all in Runo's capable hands now, Genie. Mr. Naruto. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened there before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and Matilda, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bug trotter off with him, even though he was a killer. No, I could never forget that. Oh. I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer at the Oak for all you know. Yeah, but I don't think you're lying. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of this crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it. Oh, no. But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Inosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But what's wrong? As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. Even though we didn't have one. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. Huh, is that so? Well, I guess you have to trust them to be able to. So maybe somehow it's true, I don't know. I'm not sure I would put it like that though. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Thing is, in her life, pretty sure everyone let her down. All the time. Even though I'm a diver and a no good liar. Poor girl. You're not like my gilded. I know that. Eh? Oh, that's right. You're our friend, Jeannie. Oh, it is. We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone you can trust. Yes. That's really all we need to know. Exactly. Mr. Naruto, Defendant General Estrada, her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. It's been an hour already? What? Please head into the courtroom immediately. It's been an hour? Yes, of course. Thank you. I'd been both a defendant and defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is at last, the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Sato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. "17th of April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gennaro Stroud. Lord Van Six, have you successfully subpoenaed the witnesses? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Greggson's précis of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Well, he didn't have it, though. Yes, sir. I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake. My lord! The subpoena's witness has just arrived in the building. Ah, thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this. Is this gonna really be him, though? It is him! Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of the London Society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Now kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Oh, Mr. Graydon and I both work at London's communication station. Now perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about? You are apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Oh, yes, I was. Something to do with the murder that took place at the pawnbrokers on Baker Street? And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question? That is the accusation indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Oh, that guy. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But I see you suggesting that I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder. I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detectives' homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. Okay. So you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective story. It was the will of the jury. And our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. What? Man is insulting the jurors? By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least. Oh, that guy. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. You are? Inosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so. Ashton Graydon. Enchanté. So... I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding a flashy hat while we do. Just throw it away. The accusation. Oh wait, do we have stuff that we can use? Didn't he give us his card? No, we don't have his card. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Okay. Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Mr. Eggert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what the witness is here to testify about events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. How do you know it's unrelated, man? You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's going to be evasive, eh? Is he? In an effort to not to give anything away? This could be tricky. But I seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder. Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduces himself as Eggert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me? The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Where were you at around 1 in the morning in the night of on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. Are you able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point. What do you mean? The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, The obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. Huh. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness. Oh, a silent victory wiggle, thanks. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene.
Hold it!
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my vein, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate. Spare me the science lesson. Who is this Sholmes character, anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a well-renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say, great detective. Great detective, you say? Now in the realm of fairy tales, are we? What about you?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin? What? Me? No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you. Right, I've had it up with her. I've had it up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you? Yes, I know, you're not Big Bro Skulky. Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Eh? God blimey, Governor. You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, as though a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Eh? Me thoughts? I don't have one. I don't have none of them. Oh, you must have been him. Oh, you what? Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Oh, nothing. Honest, Gov. Nothing. I was thinking, just thinking. If he waves his arms around like that much more, he'll open up the wound again, that's all. What wound? When he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. He didn't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him and, oh, else bells. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon. I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabout. Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? Would you? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand. As if in pain. No, I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. Oh, mother. As I've already said, I'm completely involved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery. My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Testimony? Very well, counsel. Continue with the testimony, Mr. Graydon. Okay. The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. But we got a picture, man. We got a picture of you. Well, god damn it, where is it? Oh, it wasn't added to the... It wasn't added to the thing. No, it was the other one. Was this one? £1. When should a mask coat? So Windybank very neatly, but still perhaps here on the paper, so not use anything here. Iris manuscript. Photograph of Gina. Bus shooting photograph. Don't forget, sir, that Mr. Sherlock Holmes is the most famous detective in the world. And the most famous detective in the world tells me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, eh? Well, I don't know. I can't think how to answer that. I once saw the world's most famous swindler thrown into jail. He allegedly told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but what turned out to be a pack of lies. Quite. Now, as you are no doubt aware, the Central Communication Station is the heart of this country's information network. My work there is of paramount importance, and you have kept me from it for long enough already. The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Never had anything to do with it, eh? You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study.
Objection!
No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, thank you, Gregson.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Inspector? Oh, come again, sunshine? You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Well, yeah, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall. And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well, no. Uh-huh. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly. What? What? But you must. I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on here? Oh, Grexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Windybanks. Yes, of course. Indeed. And the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop in the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. Huh? I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover these tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it? What do you think, Bruno? I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away. The complete opposite of Harley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better. Well, at least he managed to prise a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulking brothers. Oh yes, they were the key to it after all. So he says he has nothing to do with Mr. Windybanks. Well, we know that's not true. Perhaps that would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record. Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could be a valuable weapon. Okay. I'm gonna save. Because, you know, you never know. Okay, the court records. What do we have? Armband, no. Pawnbroker tickets. Box. Gina's representation paper, no. Blood sample, no. Pawnbroker's ticket, the code for the code. Mr. McGildy's case notes. Today's paper. The report. Crime scene photograph. Crime scene floor plan. Windybank scan. Second brother. Photograph Gina. Positive photograph. Scope. Music box disc. This third bullet. The music box disc. That's what he wants. But I think some kind of much. The Mason had anything to do with unblocking establishment with the Marvelous Guild. Can present the disc then.
Objection.
Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of the murder, in pawn in Mr. Windybank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Mr. Strad, Miss Gina Strad, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course, wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. Oh, it may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smell of blood on the disc. Oh, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumbs, perhaps? That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish where the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. So, while the disc bear the remnants of the skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon? You refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch, consistent with the smear of blood in this disc. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb? From when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon. It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. What an asshole, this guy. The disc. There's a note on the disc saying, "Former killed it, but the item belongs to me." The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once into the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGill, did you say? The famous London philanthropist who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder? Oh yes, my lord. The one and the same. My good lord, Mr. Graydon. Are you saying that Mr. McGill and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. Oh, guy is so shady. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name entered here in my courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGill himself gave instruction to deposit it at Windybanks. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it? In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windybanks in order to get his hand on McGill's disc for some reason. Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please. Alright, the disc. There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGill it, but the item belongs to me."
Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a signed salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbroker trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand. Which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your coat? Your overcoat? Obviously, in my haste I clean forgot that the music box disc was in his pocket. And yet there is a note on it that reads, "For McGilded." I'm correct. I am a collector of rare and unusual music box music. I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city, and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So, the disc in question. It's a pre-production sample. I promised to let Mr. McGilded hear it. But then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn. Yes, exactly. How did not even mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she? No, because Mr. McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury. Oh dear, this is complicated, isn't it? Let's leave it alone for the time being. God damn it. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused at Filthy Guttling on the day in question. So you're saying that Mr. Strahd lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking in salubrious areas, her kind frequent.
Objection!
Mr. Strahd did no such thing. Well, of course he would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbroker that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her. That's what brought you to Windybanks. You get your hand on Mr. McGilded's disc.
Objection!
My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense. Nonsense? I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecturing in this way. That's clear? Oh yes, my lord. Then I will continue my testimony for what possible use it can be. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to Windybanks before? Only once, for the purpose of pawning something, but like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments. So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her. Is that correct? Oh yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course. Such is the art of the big purse. Wait, what do we have in court records? It's not... Oh, it's not right. Don't have anything that's gonna help. We don't have his business card. Oh, wait, when I did, I headed to the pawnbroker at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine, in the first place. He can say what he likes, because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. That muffo. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded as evidence.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Inspector? Oh, well, What do you mean? The last remark of Mr. Gredden made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. Oh, no, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilly's possessions? Oh, I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigate his secrets? Oh, yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contribution to public life. Yet, he had a dark side too. Where are you going with this, Francisque? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have a great faith in you, Inspector. But the bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first. Paw print first. What? What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here. Well, it would appear that the Inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Craden, let's return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that night.
Hold it.
But perhaps you see something of value amongst the forfeited items? No, not at all. Oh. A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelves was common or garden bric-a-brac. In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later than day in order to recover Mr. McGildy's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. It was no more in the shop that night than I. As I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. So there was nothing of Mr. McGildy's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wonder if that's really true. Bruno, if you have some evidence, let them have it. Let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritating assured expression of his grumble. Ah, okay. McGildy slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windybanks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the Omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket. Well, there's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth. The police were obviously after anything left behind by Mr. McGildy as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day. But Grexy being very strange about all this, there must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the facts that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony. There's nothing this saying from Mr. McIntyre. Okay. In other words, I have no reason to break. I'm gonna present this.
Objection!
This disc was deposited at Windy Banks at Magnus McGildy's instructions. You knew that, and you weren't there. And you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Conjecture again! And in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night.
Objection!
Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true. Oh, that smirk. What? Mr. McGildy had another article in pawn at Windy Banks. As this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. Oh. There were 2 articles belonging to Mr. McGildy in Windy Banks pawnbrokery. And the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited? The article description reads, 1 small box. A rather vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbrokery with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article has been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. Indeed. The witness makes a solid argument. Well, that means that for some reason. This Graydon fellow needed a small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord Van Zeeks? I do hate to ruin my learned friend's arguments, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windy Bank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. What? Good gracious. Inspector, show the photographic print to the court, if you please. I'm gonna have the other pictures now. Yes, sir. What prints? These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras. Ah, heard his red-handed recorders again. As previously explained, using the plan as the shop layout, the victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Windybank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed for sale once forfeited. According to the information syndicate, Mr. McGilder's small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident, at 9 PM on 13th of April to be precise, which means it would have been on the shelves of forfeited items in the shop. Forfeited. No, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 PM on 15th of April. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. Oh, the victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. And then we have there, and then here we have another print. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident. I see, so we have two pictures to compare. Oh, we have to look at them. Oh, the box has been moved. The other one, instead of placing them side by side, left me cold. Oh, let me try and look at it with my eyes. It's quite funny how it works. Oh dear me, that's starting to make my head ache. Obviously, at Scotland Yard we consider theft as one possible motive in this case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's knife. So you may have already compared these two prints thoroughly, Inspector? Yes, sir. We counted everything right. I mean, is these two photographic prints? And the Yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present in both. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery in the night in question. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy. I don't believe it. If I could have just shown that he'd stolen my guilty pawn box, I might have been able to break him down at last. Oh, you know what, Bruno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same. They're not. Spoiler alert. What? So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? Seems that in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion? No! I don't know. Can I? Oh, we don't have the thing in the court record. The pictures. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere? Point out a discrepancy. Use a piece of evidence. Before I give my answer, my lord, I'd like to try something if I may. Try something? What do you mean? What do you mean, counsel? I need to use a certain piece of evidence from the court record to identify the discrepancy. Aha! I'm not entirely sure, fellow. Which piece of evidence do you intend to use to help you identify the discrepancy between the two prints? Oh, that's stereoscope, of course. I'd like to use this device, my lord, to view the two prints stereoscopically. Oh! Yes, you've got the bug at last. You can't resist it, can you? You've got the cross-eyed compulsion. Oh, juror number 3. What a surprise. Come on, Bruno. Let's put the picture in place and see what this wonderful contraption shows us. There we go. Now look through the eyepiece. What? I wasn't sure at first, but there's a clear discrepancy between the two prints. What? Aye, you must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak.
Take that!
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there is one minor discrepancy between them. What? When you view the two pictures stereoscopically, a single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box. Let me... Wait! Unbelievable! Oh, by Jove, you're right. How extraordinary. What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGildy's small box was indeed not stolen from Windybanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box is originally deposited by Mr. McGildy is in fact... Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means, quite simply, that nothing has changed. That may be true, but... Alright, McGildy's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things? It changes everything. I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be? The crucial point is the fact that that was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting? Oh, he's not happy. I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Windybanks as we speak.
Objection!
Well, that won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can possibly be relevant to this trial. The court does not uphold the objection, Nos Van Zeeks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination. What? I wonder if I should stop here. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing. I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zeeks. This is nothing but a smokescreen, a Nibonese specialty, it would seem. What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilden from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles are value enough to be worth stealing in the first place. Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such a commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGildy perished 2 months ago immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was an upstanding member of society, his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. Huh? The article is this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. Ordinary? A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets. A small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me. Wait, did you just say it wasn't his coat? The prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. To explain what possible significance this commonplace article spawned by this fine citizen could have. Huh. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact admissible? Are you able to show proof that the discounts of the box are in any tangible way related to this case? Well, what's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence. Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGillis' true character, and we know that this is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGillis' acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That his defense's argument was flawed, based on false information. Oh no! And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury. But Jeannie? Could it be better than Van Six knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything? Oh, but maybe. This could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry? What do you mean, Iris? Well, what is it that you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time. Huh? Alright, the exact significance of the things that Mr. McGillis deposited with Mr. Windybank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her to the stand to testify about that, it would critically damage our chances of winning in this case. What's the right thing to do here? I don't know, but you're gonna have to choose next time. Oh, what a cliffhanger. Oh, man. Man. It's, wow. A lot of things happen in this game, in this story. I'm very surprised how many twists they managed to put in this case. Oh, anyway, we're gonna continue tomorrow night, and hopefully get to the bottom of all this. Thanks for being here tonight. As always, please take care and stay safe, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.